All right. So, hello everyone. My name is Gellis, and of course, this is Infinite Modesty Design. I want to thank everyone who will be joining me live tonight. Whether you're watching me live or you're watching the replay, thank you so very much for joining me. Thank you so much for those who are joining me on Instagram. Of course, who we are Sewing and Fashion Institute. I am located in Brampton, Ontario, where I teach sewing classes. And one of my goal, of course, is to teach you, of course, how to sew. There you go. Now, that's one of my goal. My second goal also is to let you guys know that Jesus Christ is real. He loves every one of us who is connecting today, and those who will be connecting live and watching the replay, and those in general, every one of us, He loves us very much. And one of our goal is to get to know Him as our personal Lord and Savior. Also, want to let you know, for those who might be wondering, okay, where does she worship itself? I do worship in a church called Deeper Life. Is in Vaughan, Ontario. I'm not here to promote church, but I'm just letting you know generally, because some people may ask, okay, where do you worship? Whatever. I do worship in a place called Deeper Life, in a church called Deeper Life, and the pastor is Pastor Akin, for those who might be looking for a place to worship. And also, my online spiritual mentor is Pastor Paul Rica and Sister Linda. These people have really helped me spiritually to grow to where I am today. All right, so thank you so much for all who are joining me on Instagram. I'm so grateful for those who are joining me. Again, my Instagram screen is so tiny, so if I know your name, I could pull you out. But thank you so very much for everyone who are joining me live today. All right, so why we are doing live today, I'm excited to be here because we are continuing the journey of sewing my summer dress. All right, so the last time we was on a live, we actually I actually sew the front part of the dress. So for hopefully everybody can see me. So I sew the front part here. We have, and it was a combination of blue and green. Then I have this side here, and then the next part is to put the sleeve together. So I did put one of the sleeve together. This, I think, for if anyone could see the capture, you could see the sleeve is there in the capture. All right. I'm gonna just put my arms. I have a lot of clothes on, so I'm not sure if you would sew that well. But this is the other side of the sleeve we'll be sewing tonight. Is a gather puff sleeve. So that's pretty much how it is. That's one side. As you can see, the other side, there is nothing here. So that's what we're going to be putting on tonight. I'll show you, kind of give you a little explanation how I get the sleeve going. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on Instagram. I'm so very grateful you're joining me tonight. So this is what we'll be doing tonight. Sewing the other side of my gather puff sleeve of my summer dress. Okay, so before I actually get started, guys, I just want to talk about just last week I was talking about the pattern, right? So this dress was sewn from a pattern that I create from my personal body measurement. So it's not a pattern that I bought from a store or a pattern that I see, and it's a pattern that actually I draft from my own personal body measurement. For those who might be joining me live, this was during COVID. We have the advanced class online. Hi Claudia, thank you so much for joining me on Facebook. We have the advanced class online, and that was one of the project that was sewn. So this is pattern that was drafted from custom body measurement. We do have classes, of course, and the class, of course, in Brampton, we are studying. Anyone who's interested in advanced pattern making, dressmaking itself. If you want to become a seamstress, that's your desire. We have the course. It's already in place and ready to start for those who are ready to join in person. Online classes, we try to build up ourselves for online to make sure we have enough people before we start the online class. So let me continue here. So again, this sleeve here, I want to talk specifically about this sleeve. So we know about this pattern from last week already. So I'm going to put this down. And now we're going to talk about the sleeves. So this is the original sleeve that I made from my body measurement, right? So this was the original sleeve I made itself. And from the original sleeve itself, so thank you for all those who are watching me on Instagram, on Instagram and on YouTube. Sorry, also on Facebook. So this is the original sleeve, guys. Listen, once you have someone holding your hands to teach you, probably in pattern making, Once you understand pattern making, you could use that pattern to make so many different patterns. Now, this is my foundational sleeve pattern. All right, so this was the sleeve block. For those who took my class, remember this. So this was my foundational sleeve pattern. Thank you so much for joining me on Instagram. Yeah, so this was my foundational sleeve pattern, and then I manipulate it to make a short sleeve. Okay, so I manipulate this pattern to make this pattern, and this pattern is a short sleeve. Okay, so now I take my short sleeve pattern now, and this pattern have seam allowance and everything. So I took this pattern to make my gather puff sleeve pattern. Okay, so this one is like a because remember, say it's gathered, they have to be gathered, right? For those who make the gather skirt with me, know this had to be a long, it's very long, then we had to condense it, right? So thank you again so much for all those who are joining me on Instagram. I'm so very grateful. Yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. So shortcake, send a request to be in the live. Oh, Sharon, okay. Sharon, let me just I'm gonna invite Sharon on the live as well with me. Okay, so thank you so much everyone for joining me, Lady Lee. All right, so this is what we do. This is the pattern manipulation we make from the original pattern to another pattern to this pattern. All right, so that's where it is. So hi Sharon, thank you so much for joining me live. I'm not sure if you're here. Long time. I'm so grateful to have you on board with me.
Yes, it's my first time coming on Instagram.
It's all good. It's all good. Happy to. So wear your face. I can't see your face. People need to see your face.
Uh,
It's. You didn't thought your face would be on the live. Anyway, thank you for joining me, love. We'll talk in a bit. Another thing I want to say, and Sharon is, I'm so grateful you're on me with me today. Another exciting thing I want to say, guys. Before I bring Sharon right back on the on chatting with me, I found my sketches. I think the last time I was saying, I lost my sketches. For some reason, I was looking for something and I find my sketches. Now, these sketches I'm going to show you guys, I had dropped these sketches in 2002 and I found them. So a lot of the sketches would not really reflect me because I wasn't born again then. So I was just drawing anything. So this is some of my sketches, the back and the front of my dress. And I know many people have the passion for fashion, will be drawing different designs, right? And that's where you need a sewing class. That's where you need someone to hold your hand to kind of guide you to sewing. So these, like I said, is not born again sketches though. It's sketches when I was not born again. Definitely, if I have to make any of these, I would make them in my modesty way. Because I'm infinite modesty for those who know me. Definitely. But these are sketches I was making the front and the back of a garment, right? And this is since 2022. I've been making sketches. And I know a lot of people I know that met me, so in comments say, sketches came to my head and I draw them and I don't know how to sew. And that's where, of course, Infinite Modesty Design come in. So guys, I have a lot of sketches. Lots and lots and lots of sketches. I was so grateful. I was telling my children how happy I am to find my sketches. Now I could redo them in my modest way and, of course, bring my own personal design. And this I have Gellis Passion for Fashion, and I said do not touch. That was my sketches book from since 2002. I didn't even thinking about I'm teaching sewing classes at those times. All right, so there you go. So Sharon, are you still there or you left me? Sharon? I don't know if she's still there. Sharon, are you still there? Okay, if you need to come back on, let me know, okay? Okay, so guys, so we are gonna get started. So this is my pattern here. This is my pattern. This is my from the pattern like I mentioned, right? So this is the pattern here, and then this is this here. So Mava, thank you for joining me again. So this is the gather puff sleeve we're gonna be making today. Okay, so I also want to ask a question just before I move on. I want to ask a question here for anyone who want to answer. That would be a great opportunity to answer. What is your favorite sewing project that you ever sewn in general? Like what have you? Hi Donna, thank you so much, love, for joining me. So the question I'm having today, as I'm going to my as I'm starting to sew here, I just want to remove. So Sharon, I will remove you because I'm not seeing you on the live. But if you need to come back, definitely you could come back. Okay, love. All right, so I just want to make sure it's bold here. Okay. All right. So, what is your most memorable or favorite sewing project you make so far since you started in sewing? For those who have, what is a little hair crunchy? Doesn't really matter. Just share with us today. All right. So let's get started, guys. So I am going to now gather this part of my stitch. So it's very very long. So you will see me just pulling. So I'm going to gather this side and I'm gathering that side. Now this side is by the armpit area here, right? I'm gonna just gather it down on the machine, on my Zuki machine here. I'm gonna put it on the biggest stitch and gather it down and then pull the gatherer to at least 7 inches itself so it could fit me around here, okay? So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. So let's get started now. So for those, good night everyone. So Donna saying good night. For those who so for the question here, for those who watching me, whether live or replay, you could give me a comment. What is your most? Oh, hi Cassandra. Oh my goodness, I'm so grateful to have you on. Are you in Grenada, Cassandra? I'm so happy to have you on. All right. So, what is your most favorable sewing project that you have sewn or you would desire to sew? I think that's the question I want to ask here. All right, so let me get started here now so we can get this going. I am going to sew this down. It's a big stitch I'm going to make here. And with that big stitch, it will give me the opportunity to gather the both sides. So I'm going to just bring my screen here for those who may not be able to see my face. You're in PM. There you go, not Grenada. What am I saying? So you're in PM. I'm so happy to have you on board. So Cassandra, me and she was in sewing class together. What was our teacher name, Cassandra? I can't remember what was our teacher name. But we was in sewing class together in home economics back in the Caribbean, in Carriacou. There you go. All right, so now I'm gonna sew. I would not do a back stitch because again, I'm making a bigger stitch here. So I could pull it into my gathered, right? And I'm making the stitch like right to the very end. All right, so let me see for those. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna bring it down here for Instagram. So I'm making the stitch right to the very end here. So when I come to the end, that's it. I'm not gonna back stitch. All right, I'm just gonna make a big stitch because I need that big stitch in order to pull together together. I want it to be very loose so I can pull it together. All right. Okay, so I want to thank everyone on Instagram. I'm seeing a lot of my students who had take my classes, whether online or in person. I want to thank you so very much. Cassandra, can you remember the name of our teacher, our sewing teacher? Was it Miss Rainey or Miss Antoine? Now the names are coming back. All right, so I'm gonna sew the other side, guys. Again, it's sewing the sleeve. Sleeve could be a headache, but again, if you have someone holding your hands, definitely you could be on the right track because it's not so scary as it looks. Just as some people may be scared of zippers, zipper is not so scary as it looks. All right, so Miss Antoine, there you go. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for sharing that. So Miss Antoine was our sewing teacher back in the days when we was in Grenada, when we was in home economics school together. Oh, Donna, say hi, Cassandra. Donna is on Instagram. She said hi. You know Donna now. She said hi. She's from PM as well. She said hello. All right, so now I'm gonna gather these two together. I'm gonna gather it here. So I'm just gonna pull one of the string here. So gather this one, and I'm gonna pull it down. So you just have to take your time so the thread doesn't bust on you. All right, so I'm gonna gather it down. We're gonna actually make the sleeve nice. Donna, she said hi as well. She said hi. Cause I know we had a talk because I'm gonna be home very soon, which I'm excited. I'm excited I'm gonna be home. Are you on YouTube, Cassandra? No, she's on Facebook, Donna. She's on Facebook. Donna want to know where you're connecting with us from. She's on Facebook. Let me check out YouTube if anyone is commenting on YouTube. So someone is watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for those who are watching on YouTube. I think you sent a heart. Oh, no, nobody sent a heart. Actually, me sending the heart. Yeah. So I would gather down one side of the sleeve now, and this. So this I would gather it down for at least up to 7 inches because that's like the measurement I measure for my underarm measurement. So you see both sides. So you see one side now. See the illusion coming up nicely here. All right. Now I am doing the other side now. So I'm just gonna pull the other side here, and I am going to pull it down here. So you see it was flat, right? The underarm part, and I'm pulling it down nicely, so you can make that nice nice gathered here now. Okay. So like I asked, anyone could share. So Cassandra, have you ever sewn anything before? Just share it with us. For Claudia, my sweet, wonderful Claudia. Have you ever sewn anything? So now what I'm gonna do, just the underarm area here. So let me just show you where I'm talking about. So this is my this is the pattern here. So the underarm area here, that's where I'm gathering now. And I'm just gonna gather it up 7 inches, right? So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do here now. And then I'm gonna show you guys. So we're gonna gather it up, we're gonna sew it up and everything nice, of course. So Donna, Donna joined on Facebook now. Thank you, Miss D. You're just too funny. Okay, so there you go. All right. So now, so Sharon, I'm not sure if you're gonna request to come back. You can. If you like, you could request. Well, I'm not even sure if you're still there. I'm not even sure what's going on actually. So, but thank you for joining the live. If anyone want to join me live on Instagram, you could definitely request and I could accept it. Okay, so for here now, I want to measure, I want to just sew it down. You just have to be very critical when you're sewing this down though. Like when you're connecting it because it's just a little gathered here, right? So I'm just going to measure to make sure it's 7 inches just for my armpit. Yours could be less, yours could be more. It doesn't, 7 inches is not actually a standard. You could go less or more itself. So around 7 inches I have here and I'm good to go. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just pin it here and I'm going to sew it down. I'm going to sew it down. I'm going to sew it down here. Okay. So it's the fabric is not like it's very more like a silkish fabric itself. So yeah, we're gonna sew this down nicely here. So I'm just gonna put 2 pins just in the beginning and the end to make sure I have it nice and tailored right here and right here. So sleeve could be a challenge if you don't know how to sew sleeve, because you have to go around a circle sort of, or semicircle, let's put it like that. But it could be very fun once you complete it itself. So for everyone who's on me with the live today, thank you so much. Raymond for joining me, Jazz Smile for joining me, for Hard and some couple of numbers. Thank you for joining me at Instagram. I'm so very grateful. All right, and I want to ask everyone, what is your favorite sewing project? If anyone have a sewing project that they have sewn, right? You could just put in a comment itself. If you have sewn anything that you have sewn before, that is your favorite. I don't know, you're sewn a lot, so definitely I could probably hear 1 or 2 from you. Or have intention of sewing. Let's put it like that. You haven't sewn it before, but you would like to sew it. So now we are gonna sew down this part of the sleeve, okay? So we're gonna sew the arm part here, and we'll see how it look itself. So we're gonna sew it down nicely. So I'm gonna take my time and sew it down. And then when you sew down, you wanna do it 1/2 inch, okay? So 1/2 inch down, we're gonna do our back stitch nicely. And remember now it's a gather now. So you have to make sure it's all nicely tailored in. While you sew it up, take your time. Fix as you go along, take your time, fix as you go along, and you will be just fine. Sewing is all about patience. It's all about making sure you just take your time, because sometimes when you're in a rush, that's when you make a lot of mistakes, and the best of the best make mistakes. So there's no pro or less pro of making mistake. Anyone could make mistake. All right, so there we go. So anyone want to tell me what is the favorite thing they sew so far, or what is your favorite sewing project? For mine is my yellow dress. So anyone, if you're on Instagram, you can see there's a yellow dress I have on my profile picture. That was one of my favorite dresses I ever sewn. I sewn lots of dresses, of course, but that's one of my favorite dresses I've sewn. So handbag. So Jazz said handbag, which is nice. Okay, that's fabulous. I like bags as well. So Donna, Cassandra, anybody on Facebook, what is your favorite sewing or project you have sewn so far that you're most passionate about? That's the word there. Okay, guys, so let me just come here and show you nicely how this look. So this is how it is. This is how it is on the inside. I am going to serge it down, of course, not on the live here, but I'm going to serge this down nicely. I'm not sure if I serged it. I think I did serge the other one. Let me see if I did serge the other one. Yes, so no, I didn't serge the other side yet for this sleeve. But this is how it looks. Now let me turn it on the other side now to show you how it looked, the gathered, so you can see it's gorgeously gathered. See how it looks here? It's really nice so far. It's not finished, right? And then I also make, and like I just put on something again to kind of make it looks really, right? Because again, I want to match it to my dress. So I kind of make it look nicely like this itself, right? So the cool thing with sewing, guys, once you know how to sew, so handbags, thank you so much. So I just finished sewing a Betty Boom bucket hat for my little sister Stephanie. I am ironing it now. Nice. I have done dresses, blouse, tote bag, and different skirts. Fabulous. Thank you for telling me that. So Miss D is the one that's sharing that wonderful project that she have made, and actually she's doing one right now. So thank you for sharing, love. Also we see my favorite is the circle skirt. Of course, because that's your first project. That is your first project, my darling. Okay, my school skirt. So Cassandra had sewn her school skirt. Yay! Thank you for sharing, guys. Awesome, awesome. So that's fabulous. So again, for me, I've sewn like many. I always sew my clothes, my children clothes, whatever. But for me, one of the most passionate clothes I ever sewn was my first my memorable sewing project was my yellow dress on my Instagram profile. You would see there. I really, really like that dress. I gained so much weight now, it's not fitting me that well again. So my goal is to lose the weight so I could fit in the dress again. There you go. Okay, so let's continue now again because we still have a couple more steps to run through here. So let's continue. So the next thing what I'm gonna do here, guys, is I am gonna sew this part down. So this is like the arm part here now, right? So let me just take this here. So I'm gonna sew. So now I sew this part, the underarm part here, right? So now I'm gonna sew the top part here now, and then we're gonna connect it to the sleeve. That's the fun part there, right? Okay. So now again, I'm gonna remember it's a gather puff sleeve we are making, right? So as it's a gather puff sleeve, I am going to thank you so much for joining me, Spice Girl on Instagram. Appreciate you joining me. So this is what we're gonna be doing now. So now I'm gonna make the gather itself again, and again I'm gonna do the gather very loosely from my Zuki machine here. So, all right. So another question I'm gonna ask for that same question: Why? Why is it your favorite project? Like for instance, Jazz Smile. Why is handbag your favorite project? Why is circle skirt your favorite project? Why? Thank you so much for joining me. Why is circle skirt your favorite project? Why? Oh, Claudia likes circle skirt too, so that's nice. That is nice. All right. So just let me know why is it your favorite project. Okay. So now I'm gonna sew around that armpit now, guys, and then we will gather it up again and see how we could get it going. So again, I'm gonna go very tiny, just to the edge, like 1/8 of an inch to the very edge itself. Let me see here. So for those on Instagram, you want to make sure you see well here. My okay, perfect. All right, so I am gonna sew it down now, and then we'll see the end result. So let's go. So for me, for that dress, I think I can't remember if it was my first or second six-piece dress that I make. I think, and then the fabric was yellow. I'm not a big fan of yellow, but I have a lot of yellow clothes, so I think maybe I just like yellow without even realizing it. So I think that's why it's one of my favorite sewing project, because I think it was one of my either my first or my second project that I sewed. And yeah, okay. So guys, you know what? I made a mistake and I'm live. So I sewed the bottom part. Like I always tell my students, when you're sewing, make sure you look, see what I did. And like I said, I'm happy that I make this live this mistake, so you could see that even the best of the best could make mistake. So I end up sewing the other part of the other side of the sleeve together. I'm just gonna pull it out because again, it's not there's no back stitch here. So I'm gonna pull this out here again, and then I'm gonna start it fresh again. Make sure the other side is not there. Those things happen a lot, and again, it doesn't matter what level you are, mistakes is there. That's where we have our fabulous seam ripper. That's make life easier there. Okay, so let me start again. So making sure that nothing is out of his way. All right, so I'm gonna go on continue here now. So again, I'm gonna sew the gather all the way around. All the way around. Just take your time, sew it right, like you can sew it like one quarter of an inch to the edge, right? Quarter of an inch to the edge, 0.25 inches away from the edge of the fabric, not half an inch, because you want the half an inch to actually sew it in, right? So you don't want that part to show on the outside. So that's what we're doing here. Okay, there you go. So some of you guys may have a sewing machine sticking around collecting dust, and the reason why you buy the sewing machine or you was gifted the sewing machine because you have a passion for fashion, right? Some of you again might have the desire to sew advance. You know what, again, my thread finish out on me. So how lovely in this today. You know what, I can still finish it out. My bottom thread finish out on me, and again I'm doing a live. So how fun can this be? All right, I I have some other thread here ready, so which is good. So that is good to see. My bobbin just go cold on me. If I knew, I actually would have checked it before I even start the live. So I'm gonna put my other bobbin in my juki machine. All these things here we teach in our beginners class: how to thread the bobbin, how to thread your needle, run the bobbin in our beginners class. Intermediate class, if you have no clue of how to make a dress with a pattern, if you don't even understand the sewing pattern, we teach you about the sewing pattern and so on and so forth, to get you on your sewing journey. So for those who always have a desire, even like me, drafting dresses when you don't even know where they're gonna take you, you know what? Definitely you could follow up with us in our sewing classes in Brampton. If you are interested in online class, let us know. You never know, I could actually start a class once we have enough participants. Okay, so it didn't stitch all the way for me, so I have stopped right here. I didn't do a back stitch, thank God. So now I'm gonna continue from here to the very end because my bobbin thread had stopped. Thank you so much for joining me. So handbag, because it's easy to carry everywhere and good storage room as well. Perfect. That's the well. Oh my goodness, I really love that answer, Jasmine. Thank you for sharing that. So the question for those on Facebook, let me move down here. Why is circle skirt, Claudia? Why is circle skirt? Thank you so much. I think that's a very beautiful answer. Trust me. I like, as women, we like our handbags. And now I start making handbags to match my dress. Yes. I have it too far. I'm not going to go for it. But again, I always sew in our beginners class. We show how to make like tote bags and stuff. But now I kind of up it a bit, make a dress, a bag to my dress, make life easier, storage easier, and of course, everything look nice and tailored. There you go. Okay, so as you can see, the sleeve could be a bit of time because you had to sew it, then you have to gather it, and of course my bobbin is giving trouble sometimes. My machine could be here and there, but all the same, that's what sewing is all about. It's all about patience, and it will teach you patience if you have none. I'm telling you for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna come on here. So thank you, Jasmine, for the answer. Claudia, I made the pattern from scratch and I find it easy to make. There you go. Look at you, my dear sister. There you go. So she make a pattern from scratch, of course, from Infinite Modesty Design. There you go. So anyone who want to learn how to make pattern, draft pattern from scratch, from your body measurement, definitely Infinite Modesty Design is the way to go. We are starting in-person class in Brampton. Of course, contact us, or if you want online class, let us know. We could work something out. Of course, once I get enough people to join the class. So thank you for your thank you for that beautiful comment. Okay, so guys, let's move on. Now I am gonna pull this here now. So you take your time, especially if the fabric has a lot of thread. So we're gonna take our time. We're just gonna pull it nicely, pull it nicely, pull it nicely. I don't see any comment on Instagram, so that's okay. So we're gonna pull it nicely here. Pull it nicely. So you just want to take your time because the threads, and if you're too quick, the thread could. Oh, my dad is on the live. How nice! Thanks for joining me. Say something. Would you like to learn to sew, Papa? Frankie's on the live. Claudia is on Instagram. He's on Instagram. How sweet! How sweet! How lovely. Okay, so there you go. There you go. All right. So we'll remember. So design is awesome. Okay, we'll recommend to others. Thank you so much, my love. I'm so happy. I'm so grateful. I'm so very grateful. So thank you so much for all those who are joining me on the live here. So I'm just gonna be pulling this together here now, guys. And you have to be very careful now because if let's say if you do it with needle and thread, maybe it might be easier. There's a lot of thread in this fabric. It's just because of the fabric I choose, though. It's not anything additional to that. You have to just take your time and pull the thread because you want to get it to that gathered stage, right? You want to get it um, to gather it. So remember, it was very tall. Now we're kind of bringing it down nicely and making sure the gathered is intact here. Okay, So now I'm gonna come around here. Maybe I'll even start on this side too. I could gather it for this way up as well. All right, so we're gathering up. We pulling together now, and you have to. This is what patient come in. Okay, you pull it nicely, pull it nicely, pull it nicely, and as you pull, as you pull, as you pull, it's gonna move, and you're gonna get smaller and smaller, right? Because we want to fit it in my armhole. My armhole is not like, as long as this was. This was like how much inches up? Like 15 inches or 16, whatever the case may be. We make it high, really, really tall. Now we're gonna gather it into place, and that's where the beauty of it, of course, come in. All right, there you go. So I'm gonna actually tie this one because I have two here. So I'll tie this part here. For you, you just make one. It's just because my bobbin had stopped. That's why I have to do that here. So for you, just gonna make one long string. So I'm gonna pull it here nicely, pull it here nicely, pull it here nicely. There you go. Pull, 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 and it would gather nicely in place. Again, for those who are saying, wow, this is too complicated, you know what? It's not complicated. It's just because it's a style I'm making. It's a gather puff sleeve. If it was a regular sleeve, this live would have been pretty much over already because we would have put it in. So you see it kind of coming into place here, guys. You see the kind of coil up sort of things that's going on here. It's coming into place. All right, so I have maybe another question here. Let's see here. So what tips do you have for like beginners, so people who actually starting to sew? Any tips you have? And no tip is like, no tip is not too much or too little itself. Any tips anyone have for anyone who have a desire to learn to sew? Let's put it like that. Or just any tips that you found. Maybe you found an easy way to do a zipper. You find an easy way to put on a button. You find an easy way to whatever the case. Anyone have any tips and tricks? Like for Jazz, she's been doing bags. Any tips that you found that make your bag easier to sew? Just let us know. And then, of course, I could share it on the live here today. All right. So there we go, guys. I have a lot of thread sticking out here, but this is how it is here. Now, my goal here now is to get this gathered here fit into the armhole of the sleeves. So I am going to make sure that I gather it down because I want the puff to be more down because the sleeve is very high up. We don't want it to puff too high because it's going to be too tall. We want it to puff down. So I am going to try my best to gather it down here, and we'll see how it goes. Again, you have to have patience. You just have to have patience. Um, yeah. So now this is it here now from tall, and I'm going to get my armhole here. So thank you so much for joining me. So right. Oh, so thank you, Jazz. So she said writing down the steps and watching my blog posts help she personally. So I'm so grateful. Oh yeah, you did mention Jazz. So Jazz is in my class. Now I know who you are. Oh my goodness. How is the little baby, Jazzy? I'm so grateful you're on live, even though you have a little punksy. All right, so now we are gonna put this in nicely here now. So she's been watching. So for those, yes, we do have blogs and we post a lot of things on the blog. So thank you, Jazz, for reading our blogs, and I'm so grateful that it actually helps. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so now moment of truth. Drum roll. I am gonna connect this part here to the very top of the connection part of my sleeve from the front and the back here. So this here is like my notch. So for those who take my class understand what notch mean. This here, yes, she's watching your video with me. Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, little Pongsin. Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you joining me and sharing that with me today. All right, nice, nice. So many of my students, I think, watching me have take my classes, which is fantastic. I'm so grateful, and it inspire me even more. So I'm so very grateful. All right, so let's go on with this now. So any tips anyone have, basically, and of course you could get tips from my blogs, Infinite Modesty Design, under my blog post. You could definitely get tips there. But if you have any additional tips as well, that would be great. As Jazz said, my blogs is one of her tips, so that is wonderful. So now I'm going to put this on now. I am going to start from the outside, then we're going to work our way to the inside. We're going to cut all the threads out after. So I'm going to go to the armhole here. So this is the armhole here. And then I'm going to put my armhole to the armhole. I'm going to pin it nicely. You want to pin seam to seam. For those who understand the method of seam to seam, definitely want to pin seam to seam. If you don't understand the method, just where your where this line of the garment stop to this line, just connect them in a nice way. So seam to seam, I'm gonna put this here and put this here. So seam to seam. Okay. All right. So now I seam like this armhole here, right? So that's where we. Sorry, I pin it seam to seam. Now I am going to thank you so much for those who joined me on Instagram. So very grateful. So now I'm gonna pin. Now it's like you connected the notch of the shoulder. So it's not really I didn't make a notch, but again, for those who understand, you want to connect that area itself, and the notch would be that's where the seam connect here again. So I'm going to connect this part because that is the middle of my sleeve to that part, but I'm going to go on the inside now. So I'm going to go on the inside, turn it like this nicely, and I am going to connect it like this. And then now I am going to pin my way down. The reason why I have to pin is, in this case, you could just sew it like that, but I want to make sure it tailored down to the size of my sleeve. Remember, it's very, very tall, so I want to make sure it's tailored down to the size of my sleeve. All right. So again, sleeve could be a challenge, and this is because we are making a gathered puff sleeve. It's taking so long on the live today, but again, I could assure you that once you have the right guidance, the right instructor, the right person holding your hands, this is a breeze. This is nothing really, when you have guidance, of course, on how to do it properly. All right, so let me just go down this here. Okay, so now I'm gonna pin this all the way up. I like to pin because it kind of helped me stay on track here. I'm gonna pin this all the way up. So pinning could be a little bit boring here, but I want to pin it to make sure that all my gathered parts stay nicely on the sleeve itself. And I'm just hoping it come out nice and tailored so you could actually see what the gather puff sleeve is all about today. Yeah. So anyone have any additional tips? Sorry, any additional tips for how to stay on top in your sewing journey? Any tips at all? I pretty much could. Anyone could share what tips? Any tips that you have found? Maybe you discover, sewing a button, sewing a zipper, sewing a skirt, sewing a pockets, like anything. Because sewing, there's so many things you could do with sewing, and then you could discover as you sew, you discover new things, new ways of doing things easier. Like there's so many different ways to do to put on a sleeve. I remember when I was teaching my online class, I teach them the hard way. And then after I want to teach them the easy way, they're like, "Oh, Gellis, why did you punish us, or why did you show that, or didn't you show us that first?" But it's good to know the hard way and the easier way. You could just fly with the easier way in general. All right, so there you go. So I'm almost to the end here. Once I sew the sleeve down, and we'll see the final result. Now I am promising, by the grace of God, I'm gonna make this dress live all the way. So once the sleeve is done, like I usually tell my students, once the blouse part of the dress is done, you're pretty much on your way. It's not more stretch anymore. So once the blouse part is done, the last thing we're gonna do is the not on the live today, is the bottom part, the bottom section of the dress with pockets. And actually, two times we might do another live. The bottom section of the dress with pockets. Good night, Miss Teresa. Thank you for joining me. Then when are you gonna join my class? You always ask question. When are you gonna join? Well, I'm in Brampton. Just to let you know, I'm not in Toronto anymore. I'm in Brampton. Yeah. So yes. So for the next part of the sleeve, for the next part of the dress is sewing the skirt on the bottom. That part is very easy. We're gonna do it with pockets, and then the last part, of course, um is to put on the zipper, which I'm gonna do very last, because zipper, I'll explain it in my way, so you would understand if you need to follow, if you have to watch the replay of the live itself. So anyone have any tips? No one have any tips for beginners? Girl, I soon will definitely. You know how long you've been telling me you would join the class? It's okay. I am here by God's grace. Definitely no problem at all. At all, at all. All right. So, okay. I'm just seeing what other question I could ask you here. Have anyone ever learned any new sewing technique recently? Any techniques that you have done in your sewing machine, or you've seen, maybe you watch a video somewhere? Any tips, any techniques? Pretty much the same question I'm asking anyway. But any technique that you have learned recently that you want to share with our sewing lovers here? So I am gonna continue pinning this down. this, you know what, because it has so many threads here and there. uh so Teresa, you have a sewing machine, right, Teresa? I think you do have a sewing machine. I think I remember you telling me, or you wanted to buy one. I don't remember. But let me know if you have a sewing machine. We have in-person class now. Remember the last time when you contact me was online. We're not online as much anymore, except you want online, no problem. We could figure something out. But we are in Brampton. I'm not in Toronto right now. By the grace of God, we are in Brampton. Okay, so I'm going to put my last two pin and then we're going to sew it down and see the final result, okay? You do. There you go. So that's why you need to be using that machine. I remember you did told me you have one for real. Just didn't remember. Um, what brand do you have though, Teresa? If you remember the brand you have. Okay, guys. Finally, I pinned it. So let me show you the other side of how it looks. So I'm just gonna make sure everyone can see nicely here. So, okay, let me get it here. So this is how it looks so far. Oh, it's Singer. Okay, okay, I see. So this is how it looks so far, guys. So you can see the gather puff sleeve. Yeah, so this is how it look. Right, you remember it was a long sleeve for those who watching the live from the beginning, right? Thank you so much for joining me. For those who joining me live. So it was a long sleeve and then we kind of bring it down, right? So this is how it is. So now we're gonna take our time. I have to take my time and sew a pin come out. Let me pin that back. So sleeve again, you have to take your time. You have to have patience because you are going around a circle sort of. You're going around the hole itself, right? So it does take some time and you could make a lot of mistake if you're not sure what you're doing. So we are going to take our time and we are going to sew it. And then I have gathers to poke inside. I have, thread to make sure that I get out of the way. Like all this loose thread, I could cut them out now anyway. Right? And then we're going to sew it down nicely and see the final result. See the final result. So for all those who are interested in my advanced dressmaking academy, we'll be showing you how to manipulate. This is nothing to do, guys. This is like ABC to do. We'll be showing you that's the right one. Yeah, so that is the right one. That let's say if you want to take a online class with me and have in person now, of course, I would definitely encourage you to buy the Singer machine. So definitely, I love Singer. I've been using it, for as long as I could remember with my domestic. This one, of course, is a Juki machine, but the Singer machine is beautiful to teach beginners. And that's the right machine, my darling. Okay, so now I'm gonna sew everything down. I'm just gonna put for everyone to see what I'm doing here. I'm gonna sew this down nicely all the way around, and there you go. So now we're sewing the sleeve. So we're gonna be taking our time and sewing it down. Half an inch all the way. So now we're not doing any more quarter of an inch, right? We're done with quarter of an inch. We're gonna be doing our back stitch first, of course. Then you take out your pin as you sew. So don't mind me if you notice that I have my pin on. I'm the instructor. Of course, I can get away with this. But for you, when you're sewing, you take your time. Of course, I should be example, of course. But I'm just saying in general. Ensure you take your time and sew around. Take out your pin. Stop. Some of my students will be taking out the pins and sewing. And I have to say, no, it's not right. Let's take out your pin. Sorry, stop. Take out your pin and go. It's for safety for everyone. For you, for your finger, for the sewing machine, the needle, and so on and so on. So we stop. So I take out my pin here. All right, I'm going to actually be a good girl here today. So take out my pin nicely. We're going to sew nicely down. Actually, I sew over the pin, so kind of. All right, just take out your pin like mentioned as you sew. Okay, guys? So I'm gonna go round and round and round and round. And again, always check. If you notice, you can see on this side, I'm always checking because it's very easy that your sleeve will get caught in the sewing. Like the top part could get caught and then you have to do the whole thing over or take out. And trust me, taking out is not nice, but you just want to finish the garment. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I'm gonna stop, take out my pin here as I go along. Okay, I'm gonna continue here. Stop, take out my, ooh, you see, if you hear that noise, I actually sew over a pin, and thank God it didn't break on me, but it's so dangerous to sew over to sew and not to, that pin was actually bent anyway. So because I had to stop, I'm going to do a back stitch, that area, because I lift off my sewing machine. So I'll do a back stitch just to secure that stitch, and I'm going to continue. Again, always stop, take out your pin, very, very important as you go along in your sewing journey. There you go. All right, so one of the tips I have again, guys, is that sewing could grill you into being patient. So if you're somebody always in a hurry, you're always in a hurry. One of the tips for you could get itself is that you always have to take your time. Like when we do events, and guys, we do sewing events. So if anyone interested in maybe a birthday party, kids birthday party, or you probably have like a or maybe your birthday party and you want your friends to be sewing something, we do offer sewing party events. We do offer birthday party events. We do offer like any like it could be a 2 hour event, a 4 hour event, a 5 hour event. We do offer events as well. So definitely this is something that you could if you just want to hire us just for one day to do a sewing event, we definitely are mobile as well in our sewing business. You could definitely reach out to us or let us know if anyone that you may think that may want to do a mobile event. We offer mobile event as well. Yeah. So taking your time, patience is one of the key things in sewing, and that's a good little trick. You have to take your time. If you're much in a hurry, a lot of things can happen, and I could testify for that. There was one time I was making my same yellow dress. That's why it's so memorable. I was making it to follow my husband to a church. That's some years ago. My daughter was like a baby. My 7 years old was a baby, and I was hurrying up because the dress had bust on me. I think maybe the stitch wasn't that strong, and I was trying to go so quickly, and I think the needle stuck my finger. I think that's what happened. So again, and that kind of teach me, what, be patient, don't rush. Because when you're in a rush, trust me, a lot of danger could happen. All right, so again, you see I was slow and I was always checking. You're not seeing that side. I was always checking and I was always checking. So now I come to the end here. I'm gonna take up my last 2 pins here, do my back stitch, lift up, and then we're gonna assess. Okay, we're gonna assess. All right, so I'm gonna bring this a little bit higher up here. Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're here and we have, I'm done the sleeves. Okay, so now I'm just gonna trim out any extra loose thread and we're gonna see how it looks. I would actually put it up on the, so thank God I didn't make any mistake, which is good. Everything was sewing nicely here. See, everything was sewing nicely. Turn it here. So everything was, so this is the back part of it here, the back, and this is the front part of it here. So also I have an apology to make. There was a student that was watching me live, and she said, although she was joking though, so if you're watching me, I'm just going to be adding to the jokes that we had made in class. She said, you say you don't like blue, and I feel so, I didn't. So you know what? I was so happy she said that, because it kind of made me think, my son liked blue, and I love my son so much, so I have to embrace the color blue. So if I did say I didn't like blue and you guys love blue, remember I love my son. My son he love blue, so I embrace the color blue. So I don't say I don't like it anymore. I embrace the color blue. So like I said, we have to go on an event, and my dad wanted me to have something blue. So if you're here, Papa, this is the dress I'm making to wear for the blue event. But because I like green so much, I added on the green. So thank you, Tamara, for mentioning that, even though it was joking, and I'm also joking, girl, so don't even take me seriously. So I embrace blue. I don't dislike blue anymore. I embrace it. That's the word there. Yes. So this was the one we had sewn now. No, I think it's this one, right? I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yeah, this one we had actually sewn on the live here now. So that's how it is. So it looks good so far, because sometimes mistake does happen, but it looks actually really good. So I'm grateful for that. So let me put it on. I have a lot of clothes on, guys. I have like 2 shirts on. So I'll put it on, right? So there's a lot of things I have to because this fabric have some like extra thing here. I'm gonna just take it out. So this is it, how it is here, guys. Like, aloha, this is how it is. This is how it is, right? So this is how it is. Of course, so this is my gather puff sleeves. Thank you so much for those who joining me on Instagram. Thank you so much for those who are watching me. So this is it, guys. Remember when we start with just the pattern, right? We start with the pattern, right? And I just show you guys, this is exactly how the pattern was. Look nice. Can't wait to go back and try it. Oh, Natty, thank you. Yes, you could definitely try it. The only thing is that you have to make the pattern. And even though if you're a visionary and you know to mimic, you could just watch this pattern and try to mimic it. Like some people could do that, trust me. Like I could definitely mimic this pattern without even adding another pattern. Because you know you're into fashion, but this is how it is. So I'm so grateful you joined me, Natty. Yes, you could watch it itself. So this is how it is, guys, for the one that we sew. So I'm gonna just put on the other one. It's a gathered puff sleeve. So it's not gonna be perfect because I have a lot of clothes on me, guys. So that's how it is. So we can see here, this is the one I've just sewn. Yeah, this is the one I just sewn, right? This is the one I've just sewn, and this is the one that I had sewn before, right? So you see that nice puffiness coming out here, right? It's just that, you know, once you into fashion, you know how to kind of mimic, manipulate clothing. That's the cool thing with sewing, guys. I like that sleeve. Thank you so much. Oh, Sharon, thank you, my love. Thank you for you're still showing on my live here to chat. So for some reason, but thank you so much. So this is what it is. So for those who are interested in our in-person class, definitely, or our advanced class in any way, we are going to be showing you how to make this. Like there's so many things I have in my head and I want to dash out for people who want to go advanced. You know what I mean? Like you really want to understand how to make clothes and it fit like a glove on your client. That's what we all about. You know what I mean? I start with the beginners class because of course I can't just start you with advanced. I must start with beginners because you want to know how to string a machine, right? How to run a straight stitch, right? Telling you sewing is like driving. Sewing is like driving, right? So you want to know those things. So look super cool. Thank you, Jazz. I'm so grateful. Mava, I have to go. I am homesick. I need to sleep. Good night. Night. Thank you so much for joining me, Mava. So very grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is the sleeve. Thank you so much for staying on, my girl. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. So this is it here, guys. It's the sleeve is done. So I'm grateful. So the next part that we are gonna be doing now is the bottom part, the skirt part. We're gonna do the skirt and the pocket part. So that is our next step line of action. All right. And then we're gonna do the zipper for the last and then you will see how then you would give a score if the dress was either yay or nay, either or, and it was done all on the live. So I'm so very grateful to have everyone on board with me today. Thank you so much. Nati, I'm so grateful that you actually on here because you did ask me about the replay. Yes, you could watch the replay. Um, I am very very grateful for everyone. So for those who want to learn to sew advance, for those who always have a passion for fashion, for those who have a sewing machine at home collecting dust, or for those who have been gifted a sewing machine, for those who draft, like you've been seeing, you see, I draft a lot of a pattern when I was in 2002. Actually, before that, I had a pattern. Probably I didn't bring them up to Canada. I'm from Grenada. Like for those who have fitting issue, alteration issue, you know what I mean? That's what we are all about, to teach you how to sew in the professional way. We started from beginner to intermediate to advanced. You could go to whatever level. My name is Gellis. Of course, we are located in Brampton, Ontario. Thank you and good night. Thank you so much, Jazz, for joining me. Thank you so much for all those who joined me on Instagram. Thank you for those on Facebook. Thank you for your comment. For those on YouTube, I'm so very grateful, so very grateful. Remember, Jesus Christ loves every one of you. That's the source of our living. I love you by his grace, and I will see you on my next live. Thank you so much, and have yourself a wonderful night. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.